On Monday, October 9th, don't miss the KBLA Talk 1580 exclusive. The tape. 1 year later.
Y'all were coming for us.
Yeah, but Tavis, that's not in my heart. I wasn't coming for anyone like that. I apologize, but that was not me. That's not in my heart. And like I said a few moments ago, I have a solid, demonstrable record of shared power that's real and concrete. That can't be misinterpreted.
Join Tavis Smiley and an all-star panel of political insiders, influencers, and journalists for a look back at the crisis that shook LA City Hall when 4 Latino leaders were caught on tape making racist, demeaning, and derogatory statements about black people and other fellow citizens. On Monday, October 9th, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580, The Tape. 1 year later. We'll broadcast live an afternoon drive from 5 to 7 p.m. with an immediate encore presentation from 7 to 9 p.m. When all was said and done, was more said than done. 1 year later. Are there fractures in LA's black-brown political partnership? And where do we go from here? Don't miss The Tape. 1 year later. Only on KBLA Talk 1580. Monday, October 9th. Live from 5 to 7 p.m. with an immediate encore presentation from 7 to 9 p.m. We've got a lot to talk about.
Yeah. Okay. True spit. How I want it bad, cause I don't want no mediocre. Don't want no mediocre. I don't want no mediocre. No bad mamacitas, ain't no mediocre. Don't want no mediocre. I won't hit no mediocre. You bad shit, stuntin' on a mediocre. On a mediocre, you stand on a mediocre. 7 women with me and none of them mediocre. From their head to their toe, they so far from mediocre. Right hand in the air, a solid swell. I never go with her, she don't do her hair no more.
You were locked in to hour 2 of RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. We don't deal with mediocre over this way at all. Isn't that right, VIPs? No, you wouldn't be a VIP if you dealt with mediocre. That's just how it is. Welcome to hour 2 of the show where we hit the entertainment, trending topics, and headlines of the day. Also sports, lifestyle, culture, all of those good things. Now, on the other side, we were wrapping up our conversation about Tyler Perry and his suggestion that black women lower their standards. Although, at the moment, it is me against them, saying that it's not lowering standards, it's being realistic. I will say this, if you missed it last night, it was, what is the name of the calculator?
Whatever it was, the calculation was 0.24.
Right. It was low. I'm not going to lie.
But let me ask you.
Yes.
In all honesty, and I'm not trying to be funny, knowing that is the reality of what you want is like less than 1%. Like, what do you do with it? And like, what do you do with that? Do you just sit with it, or do you not like fine tune or make adjustments? If because I would be discouraged by that, honestly.
Life is about making adjustments as you get through it. But here's the reality. This is the thing, right? You can, if you meet someone and you connect and you discover, oh, they don't check box A, B, and C, but they have D, E, and F, then they have D, E, and F, right? It just depends on you and what you're willing to compromise on. And again, there are some things that at 33 you may rock out with that at 38 you're like, I'm cool.
Yeah.
It just depends on where you're at, right? I'm not saying as a whole that what he's saying is unreasonable. I'm saying the concept that black women cannot look for and find, what they want in a relationship, that they always have to accept less than, that they got to accept the pickle juice is not something that I am going to receive or readily receive for other women. I'm not saying not to be realistic. I am just saying that don't automatically think you got to go for the middle. That's all. Oh, and the site was IGotStandardsBro.com, and they call it a female delusion calculator. What they do is they use U.S. Census data to kind of break down the likelihood of you meeting a man that fits certain broad qualifications, okay? Because what I will say is I know a lot of this has to do with money, but money is not the only key to the kingdom. It's a part of the equation. It is not the only one, but I'm not going to say it doesn't matter because that's not true.
Okay.
Andy.
Okay. So, from a political standpoint,
Uh-oh.
right?
Uh-huh.
And I'm speaking very general. I like to think that most black women obviously want a black man, right?
I would think
Like,
so. Black women. Here's the thing: black
politically, right?
women are the black women and Asian men date outside of their race the least among all of the races and gender breakdowns. So that is true.
Okay, so with that being said, based off of the statistics that Tyler Perry put out there, I think that's the space that he's coming from, right?
Right.
Because if you want to date black, unfortunately, like, this is the pool that you got. So
For some.
consider. I'm not saying this is what you do, but what it sounds like to me is like, Dan, so you would step out of the race. That's what it sounds like.
Who, me?
Generally speaking.
Oh, okay.
And I'm gonna say this as a man, it kind of stings. It kind of hurts.
It kind of stings.
Yeah, because
I'm being judgmental.
No, not that you're being judgmental. It just feels like we can't compete. You know what I'm saying?
See, I think that is interesting because I don't think it has anything to do with men not being able to compete. I think it's just that when you meet people and you connect, and much like Trent said, people aren't having real conversations. It's not so much, I think, with a lot of women that it may come down to a dollar amount or a certain thing. It may be lifestyle things. Do you know? For some. Do you know what I'm saying? She may have gotten used to, somebody said that, single black women over 35 or have a decent job spend money like drug dealers. They're at restaurants ordering lobster, they're going on vacations, they're doing a lot of things. And so when you are coupled.
And a lot of these people aren't financially solvent either. Because when you get the breakdown, it's like, wait, what? How are you even doing this? Like, you owe American Express, you ain't got no money, like, you got like all these things. Like, so.
Perhaps, right?
Yeah.
Perhaps on both sides.
Because what are you doing in Los Angeles?
You going someplace else. There are a lot of jobs.
And let me tell you something. Again, as an HR person, these people do not want to work. And the quality of workers, okay? So it's a lot of variables. But let me just throw this in there really quick, because I have, again, I'm the go-to person in my group. So I have a lot of female friends that make 6 figures, and they ask me all the time, like, Trent, like, what do I do with this? You're a man, da da da. And I have an interesting caveat because I also date men. Okay, I can tell you what's out there and how to navigate this a little bit better than most people. So they listen to me because, like, not only do I have a foot on the ground, but listen, I'm in the same situation with you, sis. Okay, so let's dial this back and let me present to you a different way to do this. And I'm telling you, once we have these real conversations and I talk to them, it's like, oh, okay, and they're all in successful relationships.
Congratulations.
And maybe I am a relationship coach.
Okay, perhaps.
As you stated last week. I'll take it.
Crystal Wait in the chat says, hey, I'll just say this as far as dating and equal or not financially. As long as the wage makes sense, he cannot be minimum wage at 42 and I'm at 60, 70,000 a year. It would have to make sense. And I think that is what everyone knows, that you're going to make some concessions as far as a relationship goes. I am just saying I'm not aiming for the middle, right? That doesn't mean...
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Right. That doesn't mean you aren't considering certain things and when you connect with someone and you vibe. But I am not just going to step out into the world and say, and nor am I going to encourage another woman and say, hey, I can't get much, so I'm not going to expect much. I can't get behind that. And it's not, again, aimed to diss anyone or to sting anyone about, their levels or anything like that. It's just about the things that happen after the lust goes away, after the getting to know each other, and you have those real life conversations. Again, if you get with a woman and you're like, baby, I like real food. I like fresh home cooked meal 5 days a week. Is that something you can do for me? And she's like, I ain't got that in me. I burn boiled water. What are you saying? We are going to have to compromise or figure something out, because ultimately it might be cool and cute at first, But 2 years down the line, somebody's going to be disgruntled.
Mad and hungry.
And that, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Mad and hungry or burnt up food every night. Do you know what I'm saying? So those are the things when I say that, that's what I'm talking about. The realities of it down the road. After that, lust is fade. After that, oh, baby, you're so fine. Or no one's ever talked to me like you do. You know, that doesn't feel the same if you're stressed because your mother is ill and you're the only child or the oldest daughter and you got to take care of it, and you know we got a leak over here. I don't want to be beefing with you about things that are outside of your control based on the nature of just life situations. So you got to have real conversations and know yourself.
Yes, I was just about to say this sounds like you need to have a real conversation. And I think if people just got back to just having a conversation and just being open and honest and talking, a lot of these issues can be avoided, and a lot of these people won't have to feel like they're settling.
Go ahead, Andy.
You know why we're afraid to have the conversations? When I say we, I'm talking about black men, and I'm once again speaking very general, right? Because this society teaches us that we're supposed to be the breadwinner, and because we're not where we feel like we need to be at, you know what I'm saying? We're already kind of like losing. You know what I'm saying? We're afraid to be real with the woman because we know that, yeah, we work at McDonald's. How am I gonna bag you? And I know that I work at McDonald's. I don't have the bravery to be able to even share that with you off the rip.
And not only that, I think I've talked about this before on the show. Just black men in general just don't have the space to be, or the capacity to be vulnerable. So that's another side of it too.
But here's the thing, and this reminds me of, there was a clip with, I think it was Nikki Giovanni and James Baldwin, right?
Oh yeah.
And so in the clip, like, this is a symptom of patriarchy. This is definitely not something that women created, for sure not something that black women created. They are a symptom of. And it's a duality of expecting a woman to submit and to be in those roles, but not being able to provide the same type of benefits and treatments that those men did at that time period. Listen, things can switch up. Like I said, I truly believe in doing what works for you, because a relationship is between two people, and you have to come to those terms because you two have to be the ones to move through it. And right now, we're so bombarded with social media, and I think everyone's afraid of being played and being vulnerable. That has played more of a role in things than probably anyone ever expected. You know, because these type of setups and relationships and situations have always existed, but now everything is super heightened. But you know, again, I am going to stand by, but don't encourage black women that they have to, you know, take less than to be happy. That seems what the message that he was projecting. You know, you can meet and connect with anyone, and you don't have to put labels or barriers on it. However, don't encourage me to go for the middle. Not gonna happen. Andy?
Well, what if he's gonna get to the top level, but he just so happens to be in the middle at the moment?
I mean, here's, like I said, there is nothing wrong with that, but it also depends on who the woman is and where she is at in her journey, right? Now, if you are 30, you have a little more space, a little more runway to work with him and to get into that. But a woman that's 47 may not. She may be looking for different things at that point in her life. She may want a different type of connection and life that comes with someone in a different type of situation.
Well, check this out. On the flip side, if I'm coming in and I'm bringing in the dough, when I come home, you better have a hot cooked meal ready for me so I can eat. Just saying. Both ways.
Food on the table. See, and this is why I said every rich man is not for everybody. Because if a man said that to me, I'd be like, baby, I order well. Uber Eats got you all the time. I cook sometimes, though. I was
about to say, you cook. Come on,
cook,
Jill.
And I like to cook. But here's the thing. If you expect dinner on the table 5 nights a week, baby, I work too. It is unrealistic.
It's not unrealistic.
Crystal Waite says dating potential is dangerous, Andy.
See, I wanted to end the conversation right there, but I just feel like nobody's perfect.
They are.
You know what I mean? Like
this
like,
all goes. Let's wrap this up, Andy. And let's.
we
and I'm
all
gonna-
works in
no,
progress.
let's wrap this up, and we're gonna do it this way. Start having conversations. Have open, real, honest conversations, and we can avoid this right here, and that solves all of it. And 2, keep people out your relationship, because as soon as you let people in your relationship, that's when it goes left. That's why I'm sitting up here single, looking crazy, like Brandy in my room right now. Don't tell nobody
Sitting
nothing.
in my room.
And don't settle. Do not settle, and do not. But in that too is like it's also mindset. But anyway, the bottom line is this: keep people out your business, and have open, honest conversations, and let's land the plane there.
Okay, so what about like I've had female friends, right, who've dated established men, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they noticed while dating them there was like this power dynamic.
Control.
100%.
You know what I mean? That kind of turned them off, right? But then they veered off to go talk to, one of their boys who just so happened to be working at Ralph's or something like that. And you know what? Like the energy and the vibes were just there. You know what I'm saying? Do you walk away from that because he's not
and
established?
That's what I'm saying. You have to make that decision for yourself. That's when it comes to knowing yourself, right? Knowing where you want to be. Because the idea is that you're going to grow together, right? And no matter the circumstance, whether they're establishing, or whatever. So, I mean, that's why conversation is important. And it doesn't have to be set up that, we need to have a talk tonight. But it's just general conversation.
Let it happen natural. Yeah.
You'll learn about a person, and you got to pay attention to those things. Urban Spinster says, potential is a state of maybe and possibly never.
But it's true though. That is very true. And in both of those statements, dating potential is dangerous, and potential is a state of maybe and possibly never. Again, it's really up to the conversations that you have, and then 2, the individual that you're with. And if you see that they are like stagnant and complacent, then you have a decision to make. Either you sit there with them and be stagnant or complacent, or you get up and do something else.
Okay, and potential is a state of maybe and possibly soon.
It
and
is.
You know what I'm gonna do while you with me? I'm gonna bring you up with me, point blank. You're not gonna be with me.
But
and
Andy,
be stagnant.
what if they don't want to be brought up though? Because I'll use myself. The last relationship I was
Then we
in.
not together.
Thank you. I just said so. You proved my point. Because my last relationship, it was very much this, right? The person stayed here, but I kept doing this, and I'm like, I'm not about to. Either you gonna come with me or you gonna stay right here, because I got stuff to do. I got a talk show to produce, right? I got to be on air, and you want no.
Listen,
right?
Walk
away.
What I will say is that 1, conversation is key. 2,
Yes.
Do what works for you.
Yes.
And 3,
keep people out your business.
I don't want no scrubs. No, I'm just playing. Listen, you just gotta do what works for you. But there's always a flip side to everything. So yeah, if you want a rich guy, if you want a powerful guy, expect them to be out in those streets, a little co-mingling, maybe a little bit more, because there's a lot to that as well. And if they are paying all of the bills, keep in mind they are paying all of the bills, and there's a certain amount of control that comes with that. And that situation doesn't work for me either. So you gotta find your in-betweens, right? That's what it is. So listen, speaking of relationships, balances, imbalances, loyalties, and what have you, word on the curb is that Remy Ma and Papoose might be the next celebrity couple to hit the divorce files. Dun, dun, dun.
This has been a crazy weekend for relationships.
Well, you know what they say astrologically, right?
Yes.
So let's get into it. All right. So we are heading into Pluto in Aquarius. When we come forward, I will break down what that means kind of to relationships. And we'll get into the drama of Remy Ma and Papoose and why people think that they are done deal. All that and more, you're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
RSVP with Jill Munroe is your go-to show for staying in the know. More engaging conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Ew, gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried new Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in one wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail. The ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small stuff. Because you know the tiniest thing can make the biggest difference when it comes to keeping business moving. We get it. We're the same way, offering access to product experts to help you quickly and easily find what you need. So whatever your industry, you know you're always getting professional-grade products. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 joins you in standing for voting rights. When We All Vote is a leading national nonpartisan initiative on a mission to change the culture around voting and to increase participation in each and every election by helping to close the race and age gap. Created by Michelle Obama, When We All Vote brings together individuals, institutions, brands, and organizations to register new voters across the country and advance civic education for the entire family and voters of every age to build an informed and engaged electorate for today and generations to come. When We All Vote empowers their supporters and volunteers to take action through voting, advocating for their rights, and holding their elected officials accountable. Please visit whenweallvote.org to stand up for your rights, voting rights. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Keeping you informed, entertained, and always ahead of the curve. This is RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You are locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. Listen, we have had some, I don't know what I want to call the conversation. We've had a spirited discussion on Tyler Perry's comments about relationships and black women.
See, I thought this was done last night.
We thought it was, but shout out to Mackie Samuels. So now we're on to another black woman in a relationship. I mentioned that it's Pluto and Capricorn right now. We're heading into Pluto and Aquarius. We know that a lot of things coincide with that. America's birth 500 years in existence. It's been said by some when Pluto enters Aquarius, we will start to see the fall of the American structure. We won't be the #1 in the world. But it's a lot of changes. It's a truth bearer, you know, and it involves technology and things of that nature. And so a lot of situations that are deemed to be false are, you know, brought to light. And
correct.
It's going to be in effect, like right now we're retrograde in Pluto and Capricorn. I think it comes back into Pluto and Aquarius next year, and then it retrogrades one more time next year, and then it's in there permanently, I think September 1st, and it goes for the next 20 years. So
stop the presses.
Yes.
You know, they talking about the government shutting down and all that in a couple days. Is this all coinciding with this Pluto? And
in theory, these are the type of things that would happen during that transition, because it is a change of, in theory, a change from, you know, governmental structure, like those type of big things, to more of a redistribution amongst the commoners and more community-based ideas and the collective and open mind. So we'll see. It definitely involves technology, healthcare advancements, things of that nature. So, you know, we got 20 years to see if that is a reality or not. So Remy Ma allegedly cheated on Papoose, the man that held her down while she did a bid. You know, she went to jail for 5 years for allegedly, well, not allegedly, I guess, for shooting her friend who she believes stole, I think they said $5,000 for her. She got out in 2014. They got married in 2016, had a spin on Love and Hip Hop New York, where they became fan favorites. But it's alleged that Remy has been creeping with a Philly battle rapper named Easy the Block Captain. There have been some reports of photos of them having dinner out and about. There is a little video image of them at one of these events where they look to be a little close, perhaps. There are rumors that Papoose got at Easy the Block Captain on a physical level behind his wife, and a battle rapper named, what is the battle rapper's name? Geechee Gotti, that's it. Got at Remy and Easy the Block Captain at a rap battle and started throwing shots, making a lot of accusations. And so now everybody's talking about it. Remy was asked about some of the disses that were thrown at her during the rap, and this was her response.
It's the elephant in the room. Like, Geechee went crazy. You know, the whole, can we even talk about the whole Easy to Papoose now that he don't talk as much as they talked on the stage?
Who, Geechee?
Yes.
His third was the blogs for the past 3-4 months.
The blog, okay.
That's what it sounded like to me.
Okay. But he was, I don't know if you, how comfortable or uncomfortable you were with him standing there just saying all of this to you.
Listen, it's battle rap. I knew when I got in here, like, I done been to 1,000 battles, seen the battle of turns, say something to bleed, say something to smack, like, so I'm used to it. It's like, it's to be expected. It's not the first time somebody said my name in one of the rounds, but it's cool.
Right.
It's battle rap. I like it.
So Remy is basically
but this
taking
the first time you actually, somebody was actually rapping at you. That was a long time. I didn't know he was going to stand there that long either.
He loves it. She loves it.
I think we all do.
So Remy's approach is basically, it's just battle rap, it's just talk, it's just conversation, that Geechee was just throwing things out there. The pictures, they look a little questionable. I don't know. When we come forward, we will get Trent's reaction to all of this news, plus more trending topics and headlines. You know, we got a little K. Michelle news, staying in the love and hip-hop theme.
What did she do?
We're going to talk about it. All of that and more. You were locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. News and sports up next.
You stand on a mediocre 7. Women with me and none on mediocre. From their head to their toes. They so far from mediocre.
Heard he wanna lay it down on Iggy, gave it to him twice. Now he wanna 3 Mike Bibby Diva, but I need a bad boy. Rest in peace, Whitney, part of me, but I don't think none of these bitches with me. Why the billboard stop running in place? Heels on me saying give me 6 inches of space. Course side, why designer frames cover my face? Now everybody in the game wanna get him a taste. I'm still grand hustle first lady. You pay me, Betty won't go 12 rounds with $1 million baby. I could change your life quick.
Trending topics and the hottest happenings. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Doug Davis with the latest from the Black Information Network. The Federal Reserve is holding off on raising interest rates. Fed Chair Jerome Powell made the announcement today, but added there could be another rate hike before the year is over. Black Colorado football head coach Deion Sanders is condemning the threats made toward a black Colorado State football player after their game last weekend. On Tuesday, Sanders said Henry Blackburn is still a young man trying to make it in life and does not deserve a death threat over a game. Blackburn was flagged for unnecessary roughness after a big hit to CU star Travis Hunter, knocking him out of the matchup. A new trailer is being released for the upcoming Hunger Games prequel. The cast includes famed black actress Viola Davis. Several nominees headline the 2024 Pro Football Hall of Fame ballot. The NFL announced its list of candidates on Tuesday, and pass rusher African-American Julius Peppers is one of 9 first-year eligible players up for induction. And that's the latest. I'm Doug Davis from the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Bank of America has powerful digital solutions for local and global businesses, so you can make every move matter. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America, N.A. Copyright 2023.
On Monday, October 9th, don't miss the KBLA Talk 1580 exclusive. The tape. 1 year later.
Y'all were coming for us. Yeah, but Tavis, that's not in my heart. I wasn't coming for anyone like that. I apologize, but that was not me. That's not in my heart. And like I said a few moments ago, I have a solid, demonstrable record of shared power that's real and concrete, that can't be misinterpreted.
Join Tavis Smiley and an all-star panel of political insiders, influencers, and journalists for a look back at the crisis that shook LA City Hall when 4 Latino leaders were caught on tape making racist, demeaning, and derogatory statements about black people and other fellow citizens. On Monday, October 9th, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580, The Tape, 1 year later. We're broadcast live in afternoon drive from 5 to 7 p.m. with an immediate encore presentation from 7 to 9 p.m. When all was said and done, was more said than done. 1 year later, are there fractures in LA's black-brown political partnership? And where do we go from here? Don't miss The Tape, 1 year later. Only on KBLA Talk 1580, Monday, October 9th, live from 5 to 7 p.m. with an immediate encore presentation from 7 to 9 p.m. We've got a lot to talk about.
When you're young, life is full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive and deadly fentanyl take away your life with just one wrong pill. Addiction is a disease that can affect anyone at any age. But there is a choice to get help for this disease. Find medically proven treatment options, including virtual, at choosemat.org.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
The rent is too damn high. KBLA joins you in calling for affordable housing. The LA Tenants Union is a diverse, tenant-led movement fighting for the human right to housing for all. The LA Tenants Union demands safe, affordable housing and union rent control. They organize against landlord harassment, mass evictions, and displacement, and mobilize for the repeal of the Ellis Act and Costa-Hawkins Act. The LA Tenants Union is on a mission to strengthen tenants' political power through education, advocacy, and direct action. To get help with your eviction or other landlord-tenant issues, take action for justice, or become a member, visit latenantsunion.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This season, your coffee orders are getting warmer, and your outfits are getting cozier. The world keeps changing, and so does COVID-19. That's why this season's COVID-19 shots have been updated. They're one of the best ways to help protect yourself against COVID-19. You can get a COVID-19 shot at the same visit as a flu shot if you're due for both, as recommended by the CDC. Talk to your healthcare provider to learn more and schedule at vaccines.gov. And don't forget to get extra cinnamon spice. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
Some people won't give you the real talk on drugs, but it's time we know the facts. Fentanyl is killing people. It's a powerful opioid, often made illegally and commonly mixed with illicit drugs. It can even be pressed into counterfeit pills that resemble prescription medications. Just 2 milligrams, about the size of a few grains of sand, can potentially be lethal. This isn't an ad to scare you, but it is an ad to make you think twice. Get the facts. Go to realdealonfentanyl.com. This message is brought to you by the Ad Council.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. Curating the most compelling stories and delivering them straight to your ears. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Do you like this TLC song?
I do.
I'm sure you do.
A scrub is a guy that thinks he's fly and is also known as a buster.
Where's the Left Eye version? It's the only acceptable version.
No, I don't want your number. No, I don't wanna give you mine. And no, I don't wanna meet you nowhere. No, don't want none of your time. And no, I don't want no scrub. A scrub is a guy that can't get no love from me. Hanging out the passenger side of his best friend's ride, trying to holler at me.
You are locked in to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. No scrubs allowed because you're all VIP. So we don't have that issue over here. No way. Not at all. Shout out to the chat on YouTube. It's fire. I wanted to go back. Urban Spinster made a comment earlier. She said, I was just watching Fatal Attraction on TV One. This man killed his coworker after she rejected him multiple times. Folks were telling her how nice he was and she should give him a chance. Exactly. Exactly. You know, they don't want to trust our signals. But Trent, oh, wait, Andy has something to say. Go ahead, Andy. Uh-oh. What you got to say?
I was watching The Thin Line Between Love and Hate the other day.
Mm-hmm.
I can't be hurt.
It taught me not to,
play with people's emotions.
Nah, just, that word love, you can't use it too loosely.
You can't. But, okay, so there are two things about that movie, right? And I really love that movie for whatever reason.
She was crazy.
She was crazy.
That ball to the sock, baby.
That was a moment. That was a moment. And Bobby in that movie.
I love Bobby Brown in that movie.
I love Bobby
That
in
was
that
like
movie.
at the height of the. I love it.
Listen, I will say.
Bobby Brown. I really love Bobby Brown. He's one of my favorites.
Me too.
Yeah.
A lot of good memories with Bobby. I will say that in A Thin Line, right? Although Martin's character just a little bit pushed her, she was crazy, and it wasn't all his fault. Okay?
I would never. There were so many funny, awkward scenes in that movie. Like when they rolled up to Alex Fish Market up on King and Dinker, and she was eating like, "Oh, this takes me back to my roots." It's like, girl, like you are out of touch. You need to come from out of Malibu for a second and just chill.
Listen, that house was amazing.
And it was crazy.
Jerry Anderson said, "This Remy Ma situation sounds like no matter what is done, and no matter how much love is shown, people will opt out for self to the detriment of those who love them. Just like women don't want no scrubs, men don't want no 304s. You said 403s, but I know what you meant. Listen.
But some guys like that, though.
I was going to say, I would not go with the approach that men don't necessarily want 304s in the 2023s. But, they may not. I think they don't want gold diggers, women that are only after them for their funds. But there are some men that like that type and, will throw out the bait to catch that specific type of fish.
Yeah, not a gold digger, but I definitely want somebody that's experienced, and if that is deemed loose or whorish, then bring it on. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Remy and Papoose?
I don't really know because it's tricky. It's like in my mind, here's the thing with couples, and I always throw this in the equation. Sometimes people have open situations and you just don't know about it. So this could be one of those situations, and this is a Hollywood couple, so you never know what goes on behind closed doors. However,
Papoose deleted all the family photos.
That was my next point. When a man started deleting the photos and he in feelings and emotions, it's some real ish going on because yeah, he mad and he hurt. So this might be over.
It's a wrap. It sounds like.
Yeah.
Forensic accountant says Smitty had the best line in the entire movie. The better choices your blank makes. I know that line. I think that there's a something that comes before it that kind of pulls it all together. But we like that movie. So shout out to Martin, Bobby, Regina King. Who else was in that? Miguel Nunez, some other people.
We're forgetting about Lynn Whitfield,
And
the main
Lynn
one.
Whitfield shot the club right across the street from our studios
the
here at the
legendary
Vision Theater. Yep.
You didn't know that, Andy?
That is the club in the film right there, right across the street, the Vision Theater. And shout out to, what were they called? Somebody Somewhere. Best Beware My Crew. They performed in that. Yep, in there. Anyway, might have to check that out this weekend.
Fun fact, they also did the Meteor Man auditions in the Vision Theater.
Did they really?
I was there for it, yeah, back in the day.
Okay, look at you.
One of the little blonde-haired kids.
Okay. What were they called?
I don't remember.
Okay. Well, shout out to that.
Robert Townsend. My God.
Big out to Robert Townsend. So, Jerry Anderson said that's a loud few. What's a loud few, Jerry? What are you talking about? So, listen, Remy and Papoose, people have a problem because he held her down when she went to jail. Usually that's a role that we hear women doing, right? But he did it for her. He had a choice. Here's the we really don't know what he was doing, though. I mean, we just know what we know on our version on the outside. Right. They could have had a peaceful parting of ways. They might have just decided, we're tired. He might have been tired of holding it down after that all that time. We don't know. But, I mean, people break up.
They do. But the timing of it is just probably just a little.
Why? I mean, she didn't just get out.
No, she didn't just get out, but the pictures just got deleted off of his Insta.
Yeah. So you think? I mean, but supposedly, maybe they might. Although the block captain says that he did not get knocked out. He has never been knocked out in his life. And he also said in his response to the battle rap that if a guy knocked me out and there's been no retaliation,
I still got the girl.
So, I don't know, Andy.
Yeah, we really don't know what went down. But if you watch that battle and that third round, once Geechee Gotti just kind of exposed it all.
Her face.
Just look at her face.
Yes.
Look at her body language.
Tightened all the way up. Was trying to keep it on lock.
It told the whole story.
Shout out to Remy for holding it down, for being a G. You didn't let that man crack your face.
Oh, no, it cracked. It cracked, for sure. Looked like she was about to cry, low-key.
You think so?
Low-key. Hate to say.
I mean, here's the thing, though.
Guilt all over her face.
Here's the thing. What I would imagine, right, is that no matter what the scenario is, even if they are broken up, I'm sure she wouldn't want to publicly embarrass him like that. I'm sure she would not want, because that's the only reason why she would be embarrassed or feel that way that you say. Otherwise,
and I'm pretty
it would
sure,
be like,
I'm pretty sure self-control was at play too, to have to just stand up there and hear that, and knowing that she got hands and she, she's ready to go all the time.
That was one of the most demure times we've ever seen Remy.
Yeah, so having to stand there and listen to the accusation, whether it was true or not, I'm pretty sure took a lot of self-control to do that. So that was another thing. She can't get in any more trouble by popping off, socking somebody in the head, because of what they said. So I'm pretty sure that took a lot.
It also has me thinking about, we've talked several times about celebrities keeping their relationship private or, exposing themselves or whatnot. And it got me thinking like, well, would this have been maybe received a little bit better if it was kind of announced prior that, Remy and Papoose have split? So then now that, moving forward, if you see them with somebody else, it's not,
shocking. It's not like salacious.
Absolutely.
I think so, but we don't know what phase they're at as far as this breakup. Sometimes breakups aren't clean. Sometimes we are breaking up and, debating on working through the situation, maybe talking, maybe not, maybe thinking about it, but still, over here and trying to figure things out where we're maybe not at a place to say, as a united front, hey, this is where we are. You do have a valid point, and I think it obviously would make things easier, but I also think in cases like that, everything is not sorted.
I'm concerned that it's even fixable because I'm speaking as a man. I'm putting myself in Papoose shoes. The word is out there that, you know, your wife or girlfriend or whatever has been with somebody else.
So, how many times do women have to eat that embarrassment?
Y'all got a
have
different
to
type of
swallow
strength.
that big pill.
Y'all got a different type of strength. I can't.
But
speak
okay,
for it.
okay, but see, it's okay to say
I
that
didn't say it
now,
was.
but
I
it's
didn't
not
say it
okay to
was.
say that when we're talking about that $700 light bill.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just playing, but I mean,
Because light bills in LA are that much.
they can be, you know, depending on the time. But listen, I just think that with them, it seems like it does seem like it's the, you know, it's something is on pause. It's not the way that it was. And, you know, sometimes we know, you know, from your personal life and situations, sometimes it takes a minute to get where everybody's comfortable, where everybody's ready to make that announcement. But that doesn't mean your life is going to stop. And maybe Remy, because think about it, in theory, are paparazzi looking for Remy Ma and who she's dating or seeing? Probably not. This was just a fan sighting.
The
And that's
streets
so
are.
random. The
Yes.
streets are, but that it's so random, you don't really know. So, I don't know. Shout out to them, though.
We care though.
We do care.
Because they was relationship goals.
For some.
What you mean?
Like what I just said, for some.
When I say that there were relationships.
You mean for holding each other down and loving each other throughout?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%, especially from a man.
So is Halle Robinson Pete and Rodney Pete.
And they've been married for almost 30 years.
Yeah.
27, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Why is Andy looking like, what that got to do with it?
Yeah, well, I don't get it.
He's like, I don't get. He's saying that, you know, they have a loving relationship. They got together, stayed together, and have been together, support each other. They've been through a little bit of stuff. No infidelities that we're aware of, but things haven't always been rosy, and we're not here. So why can't they be relationships goal? Why do our relationship goals as Black people have to be holding somebody down with jail time? I think that's what Trent was saying.
Yes, because there's so many other couples to aspire to for actual relationship goals, not Remy Ma and Papoose.
Well, there's levels of relationship goals. Then let me go ahead and say that.
Of course, that's with everything.
I think Remy Ma and Papoose has a certain crowd that
facts.
The social media crowd, yes, for sure.
If that's what you want to say. I'm gonna say the hip hop community.
Okay.
Black Twitter.
I think the hip hop community was a good way to term it. You know,
but what
they
about all of a
represent
sudden
something.
Cardi B?
That's a different type of goals for some people. That is goals for
Their
some people.
relationship goals as well.
Oh, okay.
And they talk about it all the time. You know, there's a lot of lust there. They married. They still booty shaking and clapping. But here's the thing. Cardi B, as the star, as the one that probably makes more money than her husband. Yeah. Yeah. Cardi has a great deal of endorsements, right? Cardi doesn't she have an almost diamond album? Something
I'm not
like
sure
that.
but I mean that they in my mind they make about the same amount in my mind.
Okay, maybe. My point is
And
though,
she might make more throughout the year on some stuff.
But
you know?
here's my second point though. He's a cheater. He cheated. She swallowed it, and she's still up there representing for her husband, shouting out, "My man, my man, my man," and that is perfectly okay and acceptable, right?
You know, because since you guys are throwing around people who make more, the women who make more money in relationships,
Oh,
what
God.
what about Rihanna and A$AP Rocky?
Yeah,
Okay, now that's not that right there.
she definitely does.
Okay,
So see, it happens. I don't know what y'all talking about. It happens.
Yeah.
Women do it, especially women in entertainment.
Yeah, but they've thrown A$AP Rocky under the mud.
They have.
From that magazine cover talking about why is he behind her, why is he the one carrying the baby and all that, like as if he wasn't the masculine one.
he's holding his child, but also too, when your wife is the breadwinner, this is the kind of things that you do for support.
So
she might have said, "I need you to stand right here, hold this baby." Okay, what's the issue?
She goes and she supports him. Rihanna was on tour when she was pregnant with Riot in those clubs with weed and cigarette smoke,
Yep.
supporting A$AP. When I went to, last early December, A$AP did a show for Amazon Prime for their Thursday night thing after the football game. Rihanna was in the building on the low supporting her dude. So it happens.
I like them; they're great.
You know? When we come forward, we'll have more trending topics and headlines. We'll get into what's going on with K. Michelle and what she said earned her biggest bucks. And it's not anything to do with the music industry.
Oh, I saw this the other day. All right.
All that and more. You are locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
Infusing a sense of fun and entertainment in every episode. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward.
1 in 4 Americans today are living with a disability. I'm one of them. People with disabilities are extremely talented, resilient problem solvers that have so much to offer. And we've got a trusted ally on our side, an organization we can rely on, Easter Seals. Easter Seals is leading the way to full equity, inclusion, and access to healthcare, employment, and education for people with disabilities, families, and communities. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours.
Learn more and get involved at easterseals.com.
Meet Joe A,
Hi.
Joe B,
Hello.
and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect, support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase. Make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
I'm Dominique DePrima. We can all fall into the trap of mindlessly spending sometimes. I know I do it. But one tip for staying on track is when you have an impromptu purchase that comes up, try making a habit of taking a quick look at your bank account balance before you buy it. It's not just about seeing how much you have in your checking account. Just looking at your account might put the urge to make that impulse purchase into perspective and help you make better choices that'll benefit you for the long term. Whatever your financial goals, U.S. Bank Access Commitment Initiatives can help support you in reaching them. Access your financial goals at usbank.com/access. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 joins you in standing for education as a right, not a privilege. Charles R. Drew University of Medicine and Science is a private, non-profit, community-founded, student-centered university committed to cultivating diverse health profession leaders who are dedicated to social justice and health equity for underserved populations. CDU does this through outstanding education, clinical service, and community engagement. Recently, Charles Drew University made history by opening only the 5th medical school at an historically black university. Congratulations, South LA, and congratulations to the dean of the medical school, Dr. Deborah Protho-Stith. CDU is now training doctors and providing $90 million in annual economic benefit to Watts and surrounding neighborhoods. To apply for medical school, get more information, or sign your child up for the Junior Doctors Saturday School program, visit cdrewu.edu. That's cdrewu.edu. At KBLA, we are dedicated to equity in education and ending healthcare apartheid. And we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to more captivating conversation on RSVP with Jill Munroe.
You are locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. Now, I told you about K. Michelle. She recently, in an interview with the Shade Room, shared a real conversation about the money in the music industry. And we've talked about this quite a bit, especially as, you know, hip-hop celebrated its 50th anniversary. We've had different conversations surrounding the music industry and the changes. And so this is what she had to say. I had to look at that the other day. It's not that you don't like music, Kay. You don't like the industry. You don't do well with it. You do great in the studio. You do great on stage, but you don't do great in no other part. So she basically says that she doesn't have ownership as an artist. The majority of her earnings have come through, you know, other avenues. Touring, we know for most artists, touring is how they make their money. She goes on to say, I've never owned anything. I've never gotten no money from none of my gifts. She said that she formed a partnership with Jack Daniels in 2015, and that is where she's made the majority of her money. She said, listen, dreams really do come true. I've been a Jack Daniels drinker for years. When I got my record deal, I told Atlantic Records that I really wanted an endorsement with this company. I stayed focused on battling my demons and becoming a better woman. Out of nowhere, 2 years later, I got the call that Jack was interested in me becoming their new brand ambassador. So I want to know this, right? Would you encourage someone to still get into the music industry knowing that by and large they're not going to make any money for at least 2 to 5 years? I think it's why we see all of these new artists trying to be hosts, and they all have a product, and that's great. You should diversify, but I feel like they're jack of all trades, masters of none. And not that I don't believe that you can't do multiple things. I just wonder, at this juncture, what would be your advice to a friend wanting to step into the music industry?
Do it. Knowing what we know, I'm not one to discourage anybody from their dreams. If you feel like you can make it and you can do it, I'm going to encourage you all the way, but know what you're getting into. So know that, it's going to be some struggles. They're going to try to take you into the back room at the party. They're going to offer you all the coke. So be ready for all these things that you're jumping into, but go into it, focus with a straight mind and don't get discouraged knowing that there's all these traps out there for you.
What about the basics, though? Just like bump all that. How are you going to eat?
Again, that's a part of it. So if you know that this is the avenue and the struggle, if you think that it's worth it and this is what you want to do it.
Okay. Well,
but just know that you're gonna have to eat, and I got you for a burger. Sometimes you can come to the house for a meal. Want to get crazy, I got you on that aspect.
Taco Tuesday and whatever.
But I'm not one to discourage anybody from their dreams because it's hard.
Well, all right. Well, coming up, we're coming up on hour 3.
Yes, our Tubi review is coming.
Our Tubi review is coming. Not only that, hour 3 is the after hours. It's where we open things up a little bit.
This show has been open all night, so I don't even know what could possibly happen in hour 3.
Open ear. Well, I'll tell you. We're going to talk about Jada's throwback that she posted on Instagram. We're going to discuss whether that was fair or foul.
Jada Pinkett.
We're also Smith. Got to put the Smith on there.
I said it later.
We also are going to get into a little bit of Memphis Bleak and his conversation with Jay-Z in order to get his wife Beyonce tickets. Yeah, he's still around.
What is he up to these days?
Appearing on Drink Champs. He talked about what he's up to on there, but we're going to talk about those Beyonce tickets. We also are going to get into a little bit of Marcellus Wiley's viewpoint on Stephen A. Smith. He recently came out with some comments about Max Kellerman, his former host, and also about Terrell Owens. And Marcellus Wiley is just basically saying that Stephen A. is insecure and intimidated and letting his slip show. And, everyone's getting into that. And, of course, Young Miami's commentary on Diddy and her sex life. All of that and more in hour 3. Right now, you are locked in to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. On the other side, news and sports.
That's not a range or electric.
So she wanna ride, but she front like she can't say hi. What? Y'all chicks ain't getting out. Your booty ain't worth the Ramada. Anyway, your friend looks hotter. Game is something we got a lot of. 'Cause I don't want no pigeon. Them be them girls who gets no dubs from me. Playing the bar dumb broke where the best friends go. Trying to holler at me. I don't want no pigeon. Them be them girls who gets no dubs from me. Playing the bar dumb broke where the best friends go. Trying to holler at me. In front of the club, I see this girl like your love. Thought she said thug, but she called me a scrub.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Doug Davis with the latest from the Black Information Network. The Federal Reserve is holding off on raising interest rates